Hello once again, and welcome to another episode of Hearthstone Grand Tournament class reviews. Today's topic of discussion is the Rogue. Needless to say, if that groan doesn't tell you anything, I was not very impressed with Rogue this expansion. So let's dive right into it. First card I'm going to talk about is the Buccaneer. Whenever you equip a weapon, give it +1 attack that includes the one of your hero power. It's good. It's pretty good. Like, you turn your weapon to a 2/2, or you equip like an Assassin's Blade. You got 5 mana for a 4/4 weapon, which is crazy. You get, well, it's not crazy. It's just good. You use Perdition's Blade for a 3/2 weapon, which is basically just a War Axe with an extra little 2 damage. But, you know, it's still pretty good. Best with your hero power. So you play this guy on 1, then you hero power on 2 and kill their Knife Juggler. Pretty strong. Or you kill like a Mad Scientist or something. So it makes your hero power, it gives your hero power a little bit more viability. Useful in early game because you can use it to kill earlier minions. Useful in late game because you can use it to get that little bit of that 1 extra damage you need for your weapon to finish off the opponent. So Buccaneer, in my opinion, is a very useful 1-drop. Maybe not the 1-drop Rogue needs, but it's still a good 1-drop. It's a good solid 1-drop. Actually, have Cut Purse. Whenever this minion attacks a hero, add the coin to your hand. His stats are so bad. 2/2 for 2 is bad. If he was a 2/3 or a 3/2, he would be good. This would be a crazy good. This would be an awesome card. And plus, you get I mean, at least we've got a misdirection counter for that spell that nobody uses. So Cut Purse is just not very good. Its stats are too low. Its stats are just too low to warrant the cost. Next we have Undercity Valiant. Combo, deal 1 damage, 2 mana, 3/2. Basically a worse Knife Juggler, because Knife Juggler has the potential to deal much more damage. Well, I mean, it's a better Knife Juggler and a worse Knife Juggler. This will most of the time deal the damage. But the other thing is, it's a turn 2 combo. It's hard to it's a turn 2 mana combo. If you want to play it on curve, you have to use something like Prep or Backstab or like Shadow Step on your 1-drop. Maybe, I don't know. But Undercity Valiant's hard to combo on curve, so I'm not a huge fan. Plus, the 1 damage is pretty minimal. Like, all the games I've seen with this card, all the games I've played with this card, it doesn't have enough of an impact to basically warrant running it over any other 2 mana card. Next is Beneath the Grounds. Shuffle 3 ambushes into your opponent's deck. When drawn, you summon a 4/4. That's, oh god, how do I describe this card? It's awesome. I love it. Like, Mill Rogue is kind of fun with it. Like, if you burn an ambush, it's pretty bad, but you're still potentially paying 3 mana for a chance at 3 4/4s, which is insane if you get that. If you don't get that and your opponent doesn't draw the ambushes, well, then you've kind of wasted your turn 3. On turn 3, what comes down? Like, maybe another 2-drop or a 2-drop and a 1-drop or a 3-drop. Basically, this card, it's very slow and it's kind of control rogue, fatigue rogue kind of card. But I don't know. I like it because it's very random. If you get lucky and your opponent takes 1 off the top the turn after you play this card, you get value. If they take 2 off the top, well, that's insane. And if you take all 3 off the top the turn after you play Beneath the Grounds, they pretty much should just surrender, because 3 4/4s on turn 3 is crazy. And that's just for 3 mana. You've still got your 1 and 2 drops. So Beneath the Grounds, when it works, it's awesome, but when your opponent doesn't draw them, it's not too good, which is why I run it in Mill Rogue. Forces your opponent to draw lots of cards, and it works. It works in Mill Rogue. It's done a lot of work for me in Mill Rogue. Next up, we have Burgle. Add 2 random class cards to your hand from your opponent's class. Holy crap, I love this card. This is my favorite Rogue card from the expansion. Just because of the crazy moments you can get, like you Burgle Varian, or you Burgle. Like, in a game I played against a Shaman, I burgled Mistcaller and Neptulon, and played Mistcaller on 6, played Neptulon on 7, or played Neptulon and then played Mistcaller, and all my Murlocs got a buff. It was crazy. So Burgle has potential to be crazy, has the potential against the Shaman to get you just like 2 Totemic Mites. That sucks. But you can also there's chances of you getting a card that will actually have a good impact are pretty high. Like, you can get cards that work for you. You could get like a Death Spite against a warrior. As a rogue, having a Death Spite would be crazy. Or having like an Arcanite Reaper, that'd be pretty awesome. In my opinion, Burgle is an awesome card. I really like Burgle. So yeah, Burgle, solid card. It does its job. Shady Dealer, Battlecry. If you have a pirate, gain +1/+1. Pirate Rogue, yeah, I like 3 mana for 5/4 is awesome. The only problem is he should be a pirate himself. If this guy was a pirate as well, he'd be pretty good. He'd be much better. As he stands, he's not the best card. He's kind of average at best. I haven't seen too much Pirate Rogue, but Shady Dealer, he's good. And 3 mana for 5/4 is good. It does work. It does damage. Pretty solid body. Next, we have the Poison Blade. This card is absolute shit. Don't ever use it. Next, we have Shadow... I'm kidding. We're going to go back to the Poison Blade, explain why it's so shit. 4 mana for 1/3 weapon, which turns your hero power. Instead of replacing this weapon, your hero power just becomes a 2 mana worse deadly poison. It's 1 more mana for 1 less attack. I don't even understand what the fuck Blizzard were thinking with this. If it was 2 mana, it would still be fair. If it was 3 mana, like on 2, you play this instead of your hero power, and then use your hero power a little bit, and it'd be interesting in Oil Rogue, or interesting because it would be like it would be an easily buffable weapon. Big problem is people are running Ooze and Harrison right now, so this weapon just gets removed instantly. But what you gonna do? If it was 3 mana, I still think if it's like 3 mana and 2/3, or 1 mana 0/3, that would be fair. Maybe 1 mana 0/3 would be a little bit too good, but because then you just turn 2, you'd have a 1/3 weapon as opposed to a 1/2 weapon. But I don't know. I think if it was 1 mana 0/3, 2 mana 1/3, or 3 mana 2/3, it would be fair. In my opinion, those would be fair. Those would make it a good card. It wouldn't be broken by any means. It would still be good. Just keep the same effect, because Harrison and Acidic Swamp Ooze are still cards. But Poison Blade, if it had any of those 3 stat lines, it would be a good card. As it is now, 4 mana for a 1/3. That's, in my opinion, 2 mana overcosted. So Poison Blade, don't bother. Don't even bother. People have tried it. It sucks. Shadowpen Rider, 5 mana 3/7 combo game +3 attack. So if you want to play him again, if you want to play him on curve, you need 0 mana cards. Rogue needs more 0 mana cards. You could run Wisp if you're stupid, but no, you don't use Wisp. Shadowpen Rider, if you play him on like 6, you get a Boulder Fist Ogre plus like whatever you played to combo him. He's basically 5 mana for Boulder Fist Ogre. 3/7 is bad for stats. If it was 4/7, probably be broken. You'd get 5 mana for 7. You want the 6/7. 6/7's better. 6/7 is like the best stat line. Maybe 6 attack, more health, best stat line. But it's a good card. It's a good card. In Arena, it's pretty good. 5 mana for a Boulder Fist Ogre is crazy. But in Constructed, I don't think you'll see too much. I don't think the Shadowpen Rider is going to see too much play. Last card we have is the legendary Anubarak. He was a boss in Naxxramas, I believe. Yeah. Death Rattle, turn this minion into your hand and summon a 4/4. If it was just Death Rattle, turn this minion into your hand, cool. If it was now that you get a 4/4 every time your opponent kills him, well, let's just hope your opponent doesn't have an Ironbeak Owl in hand, or if there's some kind of crazy person who runs Spellbreaker, or they're a priest with Silence or Mass Spell. Anyways, Anubarak is pretty cool. He's got a cool effect. Only problem is he's very, very slow. Rogues can afford to play slow control decks because they do not have the cards. They do not have the resources for a slow control deck, and it seems like that's what Blizzard wants them to be, as a slow control deck. But Anubarak, it's pretty good. If you have the deck, if you build a deck around it and you build a slow control rogue, if you manage to get that right, then Anubarak is awesome. Like, your opponent kills him, they have to deal with him because he's 8 attack. They don't deal with him, he'll just kill something. And even then, you can just play him. Your opponent doesn't deal with him. You kill him, and then just play him again, and you just get a 4/4. So that's pretty awesome. And he's very, very slow, and you have to leave him on the board for like a turn to get any value. But pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Anubarak, he's good if you build around him. But I just want to say one last thing about Rogue. Blizzard don't know what the hell they're doing with Rogue. I don't think Blizzard know what the hell they're doing with Rogue. It seems like they've put Pirates out, and they've put cards for Control Rogue, and they put cards for Mill Rogue, and they've put cards for every type of Rogue, but they haven't, they're kind of... Rogue started as a tempo class, but they've not released any new tempo cards, and they're just kind of ignoring that Rogue is a tempo class. Probably because of the whole Miracle Rogue thing back in the beginning of Hearthstone, and they just don't want to repeat that shenanigans, but oh well. Well, hopefully they don't. Hopefully don't get more Miracle Rogue. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.